The first day of school was long and boring, and it started with Greg oversleeping before being woken up by TJ, who teases Greg for not being a positive example for the other students at the school, before further driving home the fact that the prefect body at this school is made up of individuals whose parents are considered the school's greatest benefactors. So, yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes ugly business going on. If your parents have a bit of money, they're investing it in the school, well, then you make prefect. Not just at this school, probably at yours as well. Let's just be honest. Greg finally wakes up and groggily prepares for his first official day as head student. More immediately, the assembly. Now, at that moment, he catches a glimpse of Eckhart, drenched in sweat. Their first interaction was not the best, and Greg dislikes him at this point. So, guys, as you can kind of gauge if you've been following the series that I'm putting out, in the last video, Eckhart went missing, and that was somewhere later on in their matric year. But now, this is the first day of school. So this is how the book is structured. It's bits and pieces from anywhere in our timeline. And it all culminates later on in the book. So it's not really in chronological, like the time order of events, but just try and follow it as best you can. Okay, so remember their first interaction was not the best, and Greg dislikes him at this point. Okay, Eckhart was very cunning almost. Like, yeah, like I can count, don't worry, I'm on the matric floor. And Greg's like, yeah, but can you like count properly? And then Eckhart is like, nah, like only ones and zeros matter. Now, Dr. Alec Pinar, the school's headmaster. So you can imagine what risky business the headmaster is in here. Drones out the same speech that he has in the previous first assemblies. By now, Greg has even memorized the words. Same thing over and over and over again. So, all about discipline, make it the man, manners, like be passionate about what you do, leadership, we're crafting the leaders of tomorrow, and hard work, dedication. Yeah, same things over and over again. And by now, Greg has even memorized the words, but this time he is taken aback when Pinar does not follow his usual script. Now, the headmaster announces his departure from the Lawson community. Hold on, so he's dipping. A decision which had been intended for the previous year. However, after much convincing from the board of directors and various parents, he decided to stay on one more year. And he further explains that most of his duties will be carried out by Mr. Pete Anderson, his deputy, because all of Dr. Pina's efforts and time this year will be consumed by his pursuit of private benefactors, so getting some more money. The rest of the day is dedicated to various administrative purposes, as well as the constant warnings issued to matric students about the gravity, the importance of their final year. New teachers are introduced, and later that afternoon, the outsourced athletics coach briefs the athletics club about the upcoming season as the golden sun envelops the campus. Remember, we are in the gorgeous Drakensberg Mountains here. We're at a very posh school, very prim and proper, with super high net worth individuals that are very well connected. Now, a Lawson College tradition, similar to many boys' schools and some girls' schools, involve hazing the newly arrived grade 8 students, so some kind of initiation here. And if you guys follow news, a lot of that hasn't gone so well in South Africa over the last few years. There was a drowning from one of the more prominent schools in Johannesburg. So, yeah, probably wouldn't recommend. The trappers are woken up in the middle of the night and gathered in the courtyard formed in the center of Lawson College boarding houses. The trappers, these are the grade 8 students. The matric students demand that they show their loyalty to the school by singing the school song. However, this is part of the ruse because at that early point in the school year, the grade 8 do not know the school song whatsoever, and their failure to sing a satisfactory rendition of the school song then shifts the matrics to plan the next phase, the true test in the tunnels. Now, since Eckhart is new to the school, he's got to join in as well. And they take the students to a manhole that covers the entrance to a network of old sewage pipes. Gross. Underneath the various boarding houses. Once there, the grade 8s are blindfolded and sent down into the darkness from which they are expected to escape using only the exit made available for them, a manhole elsewhere in the network. Now, while the matric students send the youngsters down into the dark, TJ counts 48 of them, while Greg thinks back on his feelings when he underwent the same hazing. The fear and tension are immense, especially with the blindfold on. However, down in the pipes, the darkness is simply overwhelming. After the last grade 8s sent on their journey, the matric students laugh and chat over their roughhousing. However, Greg cuts the happy chatter when he points at Eckhart and shouts, "Here's another trapper, so here's another newbie. Even though he's a matric, yeah, you gotta be haste too." And Greg mockingly tells Eckhart to sing the school song. Eckhart said that he does not sing. Greg requests a blindfold to use on Eckhart, but he resists the binding. Greg now enlists the help of the other matrics present, and they hold down Eckhart while Greg blindfolds him before spinning him round a few times and sending him into the same dark tunnel as the grade 8s. Eckhart falls a few times and the blindfold comes off, exposing Eckhart's over-the-shoulder look of contempt directed at Greg. So there's a lot of beef between them right now. And at that moment, where another student's flashlight illuminated Eckhart's eyes, Greg saw his older brother John and immediately called off the hazing. So as you would imagine, the suicide of Greg's older brother John had a massive impact on Greg. And when he sees a bit of his older brother coming out in Eckhart, he can't take it anymore. His flashback is too heavy and he says, look, just leave Eckhart alone. And now this is the start of a little friendship between the head boy and the newbie.